So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video on camera edition. Just because y'all loved it in my last video, let's go ahead and cue that music. Chioma Chats. Chioma Chats. Chioma Chats. Chioma Chats. Chioma Chats. Hey. Chioma Chats. Chioma Chats. Chioma Chats. Hey. Chioma Chats. Chioma Chats. Hey. That's it. We ain't gonna do that version, but thank you guys for all the comments about the old intro. I am definitely gonna make it a mission to go into the studio, come up with like, you know, just a little half 16, nothing too crazy, nothing too lyrical, just for fun, and create a channel intro for my channel. So I hope you guys enjoy that one. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about Ashley from Love is Blind season 7 and her separating from her husband Tyler. Now, back when Love is Blind came out for this past season, which I kind of feel like this season was a little bit of a drag. Of course, you're always going to have the couple that's like, oh, they marry, they do well, they last, they stick it out together and it works out for them, which I believe was Taylor and Garrett. But then you always have the couple that you just know it's not going to work out. You have the couples that don't even make it to the altar. I feel like this past season's reunion for Love is Blind, like, you know, it's like a year after they filmed, was very eye-opening to me on how things were going to pan out, especially for Ashley and Tyler. She has now announced that she's separating from Tyler. I don't know if there's more things that happen behind the scenes. I don't know if this is just in lieu of everything that happened on the show and a little bit after that, or maybe because the lies that he was telling, because this man was lying 2-3 times, has just all caught up to her and she's finally realized, like, I probably really don't deserve any of this. So I wanted to talk about this because I was definitely avidly watching the show, and honestly I think we all could have seen this coming. So I've broken this video down into one overall main talking point. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my one and overall main talking point was literally Ashley, we told you so. And it's not to rub it in her face, but I feel like at a certain age things have to be so obvious to women who have been through that cycle of how men can be. I know we like to paint men with one brush, especially the video that I talked about dealing with how dating, modern dating, seems like prostitution, where a lot of times for women, to me it kind of comes off like we're looking for the highest bidder, you know, the richest trick.
Sierra, baby girl, will you marry me?
You're proposing in your apartment? I can't post this on TikTok. How did this type of love ever find me?
And how much is that ring? How much is that ring?
I can't even post that shit to my close friends.
I did my best.
Your best? That is your... How many likes on Instagram am I gonna get based on that ring? How many? This is not what love is, bro.
Why do you keep talking about social media? This is about the love that me and you have for each other. It's not about social media.
People need to be jealous. I need to make them other bitches jealous. Like, where's the 10,000 flowers at a private dinner in Noble in the sky?
I did
Where
the
is
best
it?
I could. I'm, you know, but I promise you in a year or two time.
A year or two? A year or two? What if my followers aren't active in a year or two? Then what, Randy? Then what? You were supposed to get Whitney Houston to perform I Will Always Love You at our proposal.
Whitney Houston been dead for years. How was I supposed to get her?
You were supposed to be Mr. Make It Happen. You're supposed to make it. You're a man. Like, where's my pink Rolls Royce that would be parked outside waiting for me? This is all the way wrong. Marriage is supposed to cancel out my whole face like PEMDAS.
So that's a no?
Randy, you are not social media aesthetic marriage minded for me at all. It's a no. I can't even post this nonsense on Facebook. Like, what?
And it's like, if you're in that phase of dating, I feel like it should just be a phase, because at the end of the day, a lot of women want love and companionship. They want that unity. They want that growth. They want children. If they don't want children, they just want to have a lifelong partner that is indebted to them. And I feel like every person, man or woman, deserves that no matter what. I mean, if you want it, you deserve it. So with this show, with Love is Blind, it's kind of finicky because at the end of the day, the whole purpose is to love somebody for who they are, their character, and all these things that I talked about without the physical aspect involved, because I feel like attraction and physicality do play a role, and specifically for men. I feel like for women, we're not as into that. Not saying that we just go after ugly guys, but honestly, I had a conversation with my cousins, and I might get flack for it, but I want y'all to tell me if y'all agree. Oh, this one's gonna be bad. I often notice that a lot of beautiful women, and specifically in African cultures, y'all know I'm Nigerian, it's like a lot of these women are so pretty, they have such a gorgeous face, things going for them, and you often look at their husbands who a lot of times have money, and it's like I'm comparing a girl who looks like a 7, 8, 9, 10 to a -2, 0 3 at the most. And I see it a lot of times in Nigerian culture. Please don't come and kill me. I'm just saying it's just my observation though, please. But for real, I see it a lot. And I feel like physicality for men is a lot more important than it is for women, just maybe naturally in human nature. So when you go on a show like Love is Blind, it's saying that, hey, without all of that, without those things, I just want somebody for who they are, truly who they are. The problem with the show over the years is that it's become like very sensationalized. So people are going on there for ulterior motives, but also you kind of get to play along the lines of mystery, even outside of the pods, even outside after you meet the person, even outside of the honeymoon, even outside of just living day to day. I feel like a lot of things do not come out until after the show airs, because it's like, you know, Love is Blind, this is a whole different experience. It's expedited, it's on TV, it's like a 6 to 8 week process, everything's moving fast. There's just no way that you get to know everybody. But with Tyler and Ashley, there was a bombshell that was dropped that basically talked about how he had kids that she never knew about, and she still proceeded to marry him. So now that they're here where they're separating, I feel like things have something to do along those lines. Now, back when the reunion aired, I was planning on doing like a full video just breaking down everything, but honestly, y'all, I just never got to it. But I still have my script from Tyler and Ashley's part, and I'm gonna read it because it explains the whole story leading up to them as well as my opinion, and then I'll get into how I feel about this whole divorce or separation. So this may be a little long, but it's thorough and it's detailed. It says, this situation, relationship dynamic, whatever, was definitely a huge talking point of this season. In the pods, these two hit it off pretty well, and I think a lot of people were rooting for them. There was a narrative at the beginning of the show's inception that there weren't that many black couples or couples of color that showed strength, romance, and just an optic that sometimes we don't see, especially not often. So I was really looking forward to this couple being one of Love is Blind's couples of color that fell into that class. But no. Because no. So I do think they look good together. I think they're equally yoked with what they do, how they talk, and their vibe. They seem to have hit it off pretty well, so things were going great until we got a revelation that Tyler is a father. And it's not like he has one kid from a previous relationship or marriage. Tyler has 3 children by a former friend who was a lesbian. Initially, the two were only doing this to help her conceive, which is still a mind-boggling thing to me, but they do acknowledge that their first kid, a son, was conceived to help his lesbian friend and her girlfriend to have a baby together. And before that baby was born, they split up. But then they have 2 more children who are twins. And this is really the kicker, because this is also a so-called natural conception in which he played a role in the kid's life up until he went on the show for Love is Blind, which was in September 2023. So I find their relationship to be very skeptical, and not necessarily the love that they have for each other and the fact that they want to be together. I think without this whole paternity aspect, they would actually probably be the most well-liked, received couple of the season. But Ashley is a black woman, and the think pieces on a black woman's decision to accept something that people feel she doesn't deserve is going to be very intense. But at least people have the context as to why they're saying it versus just basing it off of anything else. So during the show, Tyler makes this confession to Ashley. It really just came out of nowhere. Everything was going great up until this moment. So Tyler starts talking, and he basically said that he helped a friend conceive a baby because she was gay, and that's what happened. Ashley seems to be choppy with how she felt, which kind of alluded to the revelation she made when she said that she had already known, but they had to film the conversation for the sake of the show. I don't know how much of that was true, but it seemed like she knew something and knew exactly what to say and ask. Because her reaction didn't seem 100% organic, it also came off like she was lax about it, which may confirm that she did know something in advance. But the show never showed us how she found out about that information and what led up to it. It just says that Tyler told her, but told her after they were already engaged outside of the pods and well into the relationship. So if Tyler would have just said that he conceived one child and had one child and it was for this purpose, I don't think the internet would be on his tail. Because although I do think it is mind-boggling to be a straight man penetrating a lesbian woman for the sake of conceiving a child, I think people would have understood that if he did that and was able to show proof and paperwork that he has no parental obligations to that child and the story was backed up. Because even the mother of the child confirmed that that aspect of the story is true. He didn't lie about that. However, there's 2 additional children.
So unfortunately, I think it's time that I come out and say my side of the story. I wrote some notes
Tyler
down
from LIB Season 7 Baby Mama
Speaks.
Speaks.
I'm nervous. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a shy person. I am a private person. I do not like all of my business out in the world for everyone to see and know, but that is just the situation that we're in right now, out of my control. But I feel like it's important in order for me to move on from this and to clear everything up, that I state the truth. There was a time in which Tyler was one of my best friends. Even now, he's still the father of my 3 beautiful children. And considering that, my intent here is not to bash Tyler. In regards to our oldest child, Cairo, Tyler was initially only supposed to be helping me and my ex-wife. He was helping us conceive. It was understood that Tyler was not supposed to assume a father role in Kai's life, hence my ex-wife's name being on the birth certificate. Shortly prior to me giving birth to Cairo, my ex-wife left me and moved back to her home state of California. She flew back for Kai's birth, packed the rest of her things, and then moved back to California. My ex-wife and I originally planned and agreed to co-parent as best as we could across the country, but things were very rocky for us. Soon after, my ex-wife petitioned the court for full custody of Cairo. Unlike Cairo, the twins were simply unplanned. If that needs to be spelled out for some people, Callie and Kamari are the results of natural, unplanned intercourse with absolutely no complexity surrounding parentage. They were conceived before Cairo turned 1, and I fully admit, I've not always been the most comfortable with that truth, due to the fact that I've lived the majority of my life as a lesbian. Nonetheless, it is exactly that, the truth. Tyler was there with me the entire way, extremely supportive. We went to doctor's appointments together. We even were living together. I will say, Tyler and I have never officially been together. We never truly dated. We had these kids, and we were raising these kids together. We were co-parenting these children together. And we were legit, or I felt like we were best friends. I truly hate that I had to provide an explanation in hopes of defending myself and my children. I just could not continue to sit back and allow what was being said about me and the kids to continue on and just be lied on. I want to add, in fairness, I understand that there is an argument to suggest that despite him wanting and accepting the role as Kai's dad, that maybe he doesn't or shouldn't have any responsibility for Cairo. While I and the courts at this point disagree, I respect this argument. However, there's nothing and absolutely no context that exists that would suggest the same for the twins. But Tyler hasn't spoken to or seen the kids since September 30th of 2023. That was the day before he left for this show. And that's why I'm so beyond hurt and angry with him about all of this, because it just didn't have to be this way. Shouldn't be this way. I completely supported his decision to go on this show.
And I think 3 kids just sounds completely out of pocket. Like, you're going into a new relationship in your early 30s and you're looking to marry someone, but you don't even mention this in the beginning. I personally don't believe that just because the show was edited a certain way that it means certain things weren't said. He could have told her in the pods, and then when more information came out, that's when he had that conversation, and that's when the audience got to see it. But the backlash afterwards is just because people think Ashley literally deserves better and is settling. I feel like there are women who date men that have kids from previous relationships, and it's not always a bad thing. And as much as I personally wouldn't want to do that, and truth be told, I have done that before, never again, I do see women get into relationships with men who have kids from a previous relationship, and it works out for them. They embrace their stepchildren, they co-parent great, there's no ill will, and they go on to have their own kids with that man, and there's no issue. I'm pretty sure there are hundreds of you watching this video where maybe that is your situation, so I'll never speak down about that. But I think when a woman doesn't have kids and has been honest about her intentions and what she's picturing for herself with a person, so if Tyler was just truthful about, hey, I do have one kid from a friend who I helped conceive a child for her in her lesbian relationship, but I did go back. I now have a set of twins with her that we conceived naturally, and I do play a role in the children's lives. However, I'm not in a relationship with this woman, and I don't have certain obligations to one, if not all of those kids. Then she would have been given the choice to accept or reject this aspect about him. But I think a lot of people are forgetting that Ashley found out about the full story a little bit later in, and she was so deep in that she wanted so desperately to continue not only the love that she had for Tyler, but the feelings that had already been there. And then not to mention the desperation to be married. See, this season of Love is Blind was looking at people that were in their 30s, like more in their 30s, which I think the show should have been geared towards from the beginning. But thank you for the seasons where we had a lot of young people acting immature. It was great for drama and ratings, but there is a push, especially on women over the age of 30, to be married. And some women have an easier time not falling into that pressure and living their lives, trying to find the right partner for themselves. And some women in that pressure just put that onto themselves and accept whatever is given to them, even if it's not ideal. So through their own admittance, Ashley said she knew about the kids prior to the conversation that we saw on TV during the season. And then we got to the reunion where they addressed all of of this. So pretty much it seemed like they had rehearsed whatever they were going to say, and people were kind of critiquing that, but I don't think it was wrong for them to have a set answer on how they were going to address the elephant in the room, because it was going to get brought up on the reunion, and I think it's better to be prepared than going on national television with millions of people watching you and look dumber than what people already perceive you. So they admit to already knowing about it, they admit to standing in their decisions to be married, and they had already been married for a year plus at this point, and they admit that essentially they have the intelligence and autonomy to work through any situation and get through it. Tyler says that of course his wife is the person who knew, and that he only owes an explanation to her and not the rest of the world, which is true, but it's like a double-edged sword, because you only really should owe her honesty, but when you led with dishonesty on a national platform, of course people are going to want you to clear that up. Needless to say, the two ended up making it to the altar. They got married until now. I think Tyler's character is really the issue. What man knows that he has kids and says nothing about them on a show about love and marriage and eventually wanting a family? And if you notice, before Ashley got married on her wedding day, her friends were asking if he wanted kids or if she wanted kids, and I felt the shade, because it's not like they didn't know what was going on, and I feel like they were trying to reaffirm and reassure her that she is making a decision that could affect her being a mother in the future. If Tyler can easily say, I found a new wife, so I'm out of my kid's life, and it's been over a year, who's to say that he can't do that to Ashley? I do think they deserved each other. I liked them in the beginning, but their scandal was definitely a Love is Blind scandal. When you go on reality TV, just know whatever's done in the dark is always going to be brought to the light. People will pull out them skeletons out of the closet, and you're gonna have to answer for them, and it could affect the people who you truly love. Now, I know that was a lot, but that was pretty much my whole like spiel on Tyler and Ashley at the time, and I wrote that probably like months ago, like I want to say like probably October, November, whenever the reunion came out. And now we've gotten to a point where Ashley is no longer with Tyler. So let's get into what she had to say about that. So according to the Jasmine brand, it says, the Love is Blind star Tyler Francis breaks silence after Ashley Adionser announces their separation. He says, I take full accountability for my role. Now it says here, Tyler breaks his silence after Ashley confirms their marriage has come to an end. On January 22nd, Ashley revealed, while I had hoped for mutual understanding and transparency in our relationship, it has become clear that our paths are no longer aligned, making it impossible for me to continue in this marriage. The next day, on January 23rd, Tyler shared his thoughts via Instagram stories. As many of you have seen, Ashley has shared the news of our decision to end our marriage. This has been an incredibly difficult and emotional process for both of us, and it is one we have approached with great care and respect for one another. He continued, while our journey together began with so much hope and love, we came to realize that there were challenges we could not overcome. I take full accountability for my role in the difficulties we faced, and I respect Ashley's decision to move forward in a way that prioritizes her peace and happiness. Tyler described Ashley as an incredible woman, and he said he feels nothing but admiration and gratitude for the love and support she has given him during their time together. The pair tied the knot during the season 7 finale of Love is Blind, following an emotional journey filled with ups and downs, including Tyler's revelation about fathering several children. Now, my overall thought on this is this man wasted her time. He wasted her time. Ashley was very intentional when she came into the pods, and I feel like because she's probably been in an area where she's around friends who are married or in serious relationships, and she's probably been one of the ones that just never could find the right guy for her. I do understand what type of pressure could come across. I mean, just being like over 25 in the Nigerian culture as a woman, they're pressuring you. When are you getting married? When are you going to bring me grandchildren? They're always saying these things. I like dread going to like social events like with my parents sometimes, because I don't like the aunties asking me like, oh Chioma, when are you going to bring us a husband? We know we want grandchildren. We want to see those babies. And it's like, whole time though I have a boyfriend, but y'all are sitting here talking about marriage, and I've only been with my boyfriend for a year. So it's like, why aren't y'all allowing the process to actually build up genuinely? Y'all are so quick to rush. And I know it's worse for my cousins that are older than me in their 30s, because I know how them aunties are. And I feel like a lot of times like this pressure is not just on Nigerians, it's on a lot of women. Every culture, every type of woman gets that pressure of hurry up and get married, settle down, or if you get too old and you don't find a husband, something must be wrong with you. And I feel like that burden was on Ashley to the point where she accepted something that she clearly did not deserve. And the whole world having a front row seat to this was like probably a lot of pressure, because we're telling her, yo, shorty, this is not it. Like, if he had one child, okay, and it was for the purpose of what he said, which the baby mother did confirm that was true, you know, he was helping them conceive. I get like the friendship aspect, but I just don't get why not go through the process of like surrogacy or sperm donor. I get it's pricey, I get that, and I understand that was probably one of her reasons, but you convolute the whole situation when you have a personal relationship with someone who is doing a favor, and the favor is literally conceiving a child. I mean, that is very serious. So with Ashley and and Tyler. I just felt like this wasn't going to last. I mean, I actually thought it might last because I was like, maybe she'll just be kind of, hate to say it, but kind of dumb forever. But I'm glad she woke up. I'm glad she's out of that poison. I'm glad she's out of that potion. I'm glad she's out of that hypnosis of what Tyler is. I think she was a little bit smitten by Tyler's looks and just the way how he talks, his calm nature. He seemed to always have an answer for everything. But at the end of the day, you wasted this lady's time. Of course, he's giving these PR answers of, oh yeah, well, you know, I love her. I respect her. I have a gratitude and admiration. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you can't say anything about a woman who really held you down and embarrassed herself for the sake of choices that you decided to make prior to her and probably during y'all's relationship. I mean, we still didn't know the full extent of the story with the children and the fatherhood and all of that until it was all said and done and aired out for the world to see. And then there was so many things that came out, especially on TikTok. I remember during that time I was scrolling, I was looking up everything to see what happened between Tyler and these other kids. I think if a man shows you that he is going to be lackadaisical when it comes to parenting, huge red flag. There should never be a reason why a man decides to just eradicate the fact that he has children, multiple children, just because he's with a new person, a new woman. That's just crazy to me. And unfortunately, to me, I feel like Ashley is a little bit too old to make mistakes like this, but I do understand that she was probably looking at it from a place of, I want to be married. If this is what it's going to be, okay, I do love this guy. And I hope moving forward, she can kind of rationalize her decision, learn from it, not make the same decision again, and find someone that's truly for her. I always thought she was pretty. I always thought she was educated. I love the way how she talked and carried herself. So I don't think she's going to have a problem finding somebody for her, but I do think she's going to be very, very hesitant and very skeptical to approach certain men or have men approach her because of this situation, especially because it was aired out for millions to see on Netflix. Ultimately, Ashley knew everything that was going to happen once it hit the public, and I think she tried to save face the best that she could, but unfortunately, sis, a lot of us women have either been there and done that, or we just know like straight up this is not it. So people were just going to have to come for you. Don't ever, and I say this from experience as well, don't ever make excuses for a man's poor behavior and poor choices, because at the end of the day, he's still getting some type of benefit with not only being a piss poor excuse of a man, but also having somebody that's going to coddle and defend him. So he's getting everything that he wants, and you're sitting there embarrassed or hurt or not being able to get what you fully want because you're defending nonsense, like just foolishness. At this point, Tyler, just take care of your kids. Ashley, I don't know if there's going to be any like financial burdens because this marriage is dissolving, but at the very least, you get your dignity back, you get your respect back, and you get to move on with your life and find the man that's perfect for you. In my prognostications, I feel like within the next year or two, we're going to see her pop out with the right man for her. She's going to be happy than ever. And Tyler will be sitting there with his Noah's Ark full of children because he will probably have more. And it's just going to be the same old story. A lot of women come out of these situations, not necessarily unscathed, but eventually they get to better, and I just wish that for Ashley moving forward. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If y'all haven't already, actually I don't have anything to promote. Subscribe to my channel if you like watching me. Make sure you are subscribed because YouTube will definitely unsubscribe you for me. They are very shady. But yeah, just hit the like button. If anything, just hit the like. That's all I can say. And as always, last but not least, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
I got my mind spinning like a carousel. Can you tell? Ooh, you so professional, smooth like a criminal. Passenger princess, always treat me like Cinderella. Yeah, call me Bella, say I look Stella. Tu me fais bêta, ils sont jealous. C'est mon père from my left side. J'ai regardé, je ne vois pas no other man. Number one, Papa, you know you're my